Playing from out of position on paired boards is very difficult because usually you don't have a very good hand just because it's hard to hit trips or a pair. But in today's video, I'm going to show you using PeakGTO.com how to train paired boards so that you can learn to master these situations. At PeakGTO.com, we have this interesting, fun, engaging training feature. Click right here on the trainer, and now we're going to set up our hand. We want to play a full hand in a tournament, 8-handed, with a 1 big blind ante. I want to be in the big blind, out of position, against a button raiser. And let's be 40 big blinds deep versus a raise first in. And let's make the board 8-4-4, where we have a lot of gut shots. And for our hands, let's go through here and make sure we don't get dealt the absolute worst hands because we fold those pre-flop. I only want to see what the opponent has at a showdown. And let's click start. Facing a raise. 2.3 big blinds from the button. Here we are in the big blind with the ace-7 offsuit. We can call or re-raise, as you see. It goes a little bit quick. We're going to check the 8-4-4 flop. Every flop's going to be 8-4-4 because we want to study this particular spot. We are supposed to check raise a decent amount on paired boards from out of position with lots of gut shots, backdoor flush draws, overcards, etc. But if you studied these spots, you know that ace high does a decent amount of calling. So let's call. Notice 96% call with the ace high. We check call the flop, turns an ace. This may look very good for us, but the ace is actually pretty good for the opponent because they're going to bet a lot of ace high on the flop, and we re-raise a lot of hours before the flop. So we're going to check the turn 100% of the time, as you see. They bet big. Now the question becomes, do we call or go all in? Or raise minimum, I suppose. What do you think? Always quiz yourself. This is the whole purpose of this program, is to quiz yourself. This is a scenario where we're going to call every time just to keep the opponent in with all of their bluffs. We call, river to queen, we're going to check every time. They check it back with jack 10. So I want to show you a few features that we have at PeakGTO and the trainer. We can come over here and look at this scenario right here by clicking study in the library. I want to see what happened at every single decision point so that we know roughly how to play our strategy in these spots. It's going to go all the way through the hand. Let's go and start pre-flop. Pre-flop. The button raise to 2.3 big blinds. We're in the big blind. We had ace-7 offsuit. I said either call or re-raise. And notice we are calling about half the time and re-raising to 9.2 big blinds about half the time. Also with a smattering of bluffs. And this is something a lot of people do wrong. They don't find these bluffs, and that makes them easy to play against because they only re-raise the best hands. Also notice 40 big blinds deep. We go all in. Small and medium pairs. Ace-king, ace-queen, ace-2. Some king-7 suited, some king-7 offsuit. All right, fine. On the flop, we're going to check everything. There is a tiny bit of leading in this situation, but don't lead when you're 40 big blinds deep in general on 8-4-4. So we check. They bet small, and they're going to bet small with a smattering of hands, right? Although it's usually going to be weighted towards decently strong hands and hands with equity. And now we have to figure out what to do. This is how we should play our range. Remember how I said a lot of ace-high opts to call, right? Because ace-high can just win at the showdown unimproved. I also said a lot of good king-high opts to call. And then queen high and lower does a decent amount of raising. Okay? Also notice your ace is doing a decent amount of raising, and your fours does a ton of raising, right? Also notice the gut shots are raising, stuff like queen 5, so backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw is raising or calling. And that's it, okay? That's how we're going to be playing this spot. 10-4 offsuit, notice, is not played, so we know this is a fold pre-flop. We put this one in to be a trick, so we fold that one. 8-6 suited, we will call pre-flop every time. Oh, this can be a good flop. 8-4-4, we're going to check. When they bet, think we can raise or call. Remember, we literally just studied the spot. Although it looks like it's raising every time. All right. Oh, wait, is that right? Yeah, slightly off on this one. So typically, whenever you have a pair with a backdoor flush draw and backdoor straight draw on paired boards like this, so like 8-7, 8-6, 8-5 of hearts or diamonds, you're usually going to be raising a ton. So let's raise. It is 100% raise. And they call. Turns to jack of hearts. Do we keep betting? What do you think? And what size do we use? Take a second. Think about it. Let me know in the comment section down below. While you're down there, click the like button. Click the notification button if you love studying specific scenarios like this. By the way, if you are already decently studied at poker, but still struggling to just hit the right frequencies and hit the right plays in game, the solvers are great for you. Also, we have this drill of the day feature you may not know about at PeakGTO, where I or other poker coaching coaches like Justin Saliba, Brock Wilson, Aram Zobi, and Matt Affleck go through specific spots and then explain how to play those specific spots so that you know how to play them. A big, call it issue with GTO solvers and trainers is they don't actually tell you why you should be making the specific play, but the drill of the day will help with that. And also the tournament and/or cash game masterclass at pokercoaching.com will help with that too, because essentially everything I'm telling you here has been laid out at pokercoaching.com in the tournament masterclass for a while now. All right, I think we should probably keep betting small in this turn, but I could be convinced check is fine. Let's go small or medium. We have this randomizer feature. It's a random number between 1 and 100. If I roll low, I usually take the passive line. If I roll high, I usually take the aggressive line, assuming I think I want to be using a mixed strategy. Right here, I think we probably do. Our hand, I don't think wants to go too big, though. Ugh, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to go for 3.9, but I could be convinced the others are better. No, I'm going to go 10.4. 0%, 100% check. All right, we lost a ton of ELO rating there. Let's go over here and study. I'm not going to play all these perfectly. By the way, I am not a perfect poker player. I could always get better. So could you. Let's go over here and take a look at what we should do in this spot. So on the turn, the Jack of Hearts was interesting because it gave us like a pretty nice hand, right? But it seems like the 8-6 just wants to do a ton of checking. Notice a lot of the 8s are doing a lot of checking on the Jack. Well, because the opponent's going to have some Jacks, and now some of our bluffs with Jacks got there. I kind of thought our hand was just good enough to bet. And if we got raised, we could just call it off. But I suppose that's just not the case. One thing you do have to be careful with when you're playing 40 big blinds deep is betting a hand like this and then being in roughly a break-even spot to call it off. But looks like our hand was okay checking. And if we do check, say we do check, you can explore this. Say they bet on the medium side or big side, right? 67% pots, their most common bet size. Do we call or jam? We call the 8-6 of hearts. Say the river's a brick, like a 2 of spades. We're going to check the river. They go all in. Do we call the 8-6? And it looks like, where did it go? They bet 10. We call 8-6 of hearts. River, 2 of spades. We check. They go all in. Oh, here it is. My brain's broken. We fold the 8-6 of hearts. This is something I don't really like doing. Look, I mean, I realize that it's a pretty nasty scenario, but it's a bluff catcher, right? So your opponent needs to be finding the adequate amount of bluffs. A lot of people don't do it. So folding's probably fine. That said, maybe that's why betting is just okay in the real world. I don't know. It's always important to make sure you are considering what actually happens in the real world when you are making any sort of play. All right, check on the flop. Do we bluff this on the turn? Maybe not. Our hand's pretty just bad. I think I would check this, but maybe we're supposed to bluff sometimes. I mean, I don't know. I think we have plenty of hands with equity here, right? Typically, when you're out of position, most of your bluffs are going to come from hands with equity. From in position, you can bluff with just more total junkers. All right, on the river, I think we need to bluff some. Notice we do have some really worse hands, though, that could bluff. I'm going to go pot, but I can be convinced other sizes are used. So 30% pot, 67% check. Fine, right? Interesting. Just check. Snap us off on the river with a Jack-8. Nice hand. All right. They raise. We call the Queen-9 every time. 8-4-4. Do we call or raise against a small bet on the flop? I think we probably mix it up. Let's take a look over here. On the flop, I'm curious. We check. They bet small. What do we do? A Queen-9 offsuit. Notice it is mixing between calls and raises, right? So keep that in mind. All right, turn 5. Do we want to bluff this one? Here we have a bunch of hands with a 7 or a 6. This might be okay to bluff sometimes. Sure, let's go medium. 25% medium, 35% small, or check, and a little slightly more big. So that's the spot where we're mixing it up. That's an interesting spot, right? Whenever the middle, a card between the 8 and the 4 comes, giving you lots of draws. Let's see. Click the wrong one. Anytime the middle card comes, giving you a bunch of draws, you should be betting the turn pretty often in this scenario. And when we are betting in this spot, we're mostly using a medium or big size. And, Queen-9, Jack-9, 10-9 are all getting in there, right? I figured these were all getting in there some chunk of the time. I think exploitatively, whenever it goes check on the flop in the real world, your opponent's going to have a lot more ace-high and king-high type stuff than GTO has. because GTO is checking back stuff like Jack 8, like we just saw, right? So if your opponent has way more ace high and king high, I think this is a really good spot just to start betting medium or big and applying pressure with hands like this. And I'm going to be betting the river a lot of the time too. Let's just see. Say we do bet and they call. The river is a 2 of spades, a brick. Do we keep bluffing the queen, 9, jack, 9, 10, 9, jack, 10? We do, right? And I love this play in the real world. I think this play works really, really well in spots like this. Say the river's a scarier one. Say it's a 10 of spades. I think we're still going to be bluffing all the ones that don't get there, and the 10's now good enough to bluff, or to value bet, right? So, cool to see. Let's do one more hand. Ace-6 suited. We call it pre-flop. 8-4-4. I think we check call ace-high backdoor draws. We check raise like queen-high backdoor draws, or check call them. 100% call. Turn, we're going to check a queen every time. Now if they bet the turn, it's a pretty rough spot, but I think we probably just fold immediately if they bet big. You will find that they do bet big very often when they do bet the turn in this scenario. All right, 8 river, do we bet small, like blocking bet? I don't know, probably not. Although maybe. We do check 100%. And if they bet here, I'm going to be pretty call happy. I don't love it, but I mean, pot odds, right? So look, we are mixing folds here. I would have been a little bit too call happy in the real world. And nice thin value bet from the opponent. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This is just one of the many scenarios you can train in the trainer. If you go over here to the trainer, you can select, like I showed you a minute ago, all sorts of specific scenarios for the flop. You can literally type in any flop you want. You could also have 3 flush boards, 2 flush boards, no flush draw on the board. You can have any high card on the flop, like ace high high, or high low low, or high middle middle. You can have paired boards, disconnected boards, all sorts of spots. And going through and studying in this way will go a long way to helping you really hone your poker skills, especially in situations that you find difficult. Make sure you check out PeakGTO.com. Good luck in your games. Have fun. Thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you next time.